BagZ, and I'm coming live from the man cave slash office slash studio. I know it's super late, even though I know most of you are kind of accustomed to my videos dropping at like 2 a.m. or so. So this might actually be a little bit early for you. I just really wanted to test this out and see how my setup here in the office is going to be. I'm hoping that it's looking okay. I'm hoping that the sound is good. Let's see here. I'm just getting accustomed to some stuff here. No. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I can't see a chat or anything. Well, it is what it is. Either way, what I'm counting is this to be recorded, so it'll be the recording that I'll watch afterwards, and we'll see how that is. Um, let's see. Some updates. One thing I definitely do want to discuss is today. Well, actually, early, I think it was yesterday and maybe today. I'm seeing that the Fanatec debacle is finally getting some, I guess, getting some recognition from some big named YouTubers. It was nice to kind of see a random call sign called out Fanatec for the craziness that it's been. Another one that I saw came around, Kirith or Karith. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce his name or his channel name. He came out today and he did a video with the drama with Fanatec. I mean, I guess better late than never. I mean, I did my video a while ago, well, maybe not too long ago, and that was while I was having my drama with Fanatec and their radio silence on all of their customers that went ahead and dropped money on items that got no notice whatsoever of what was happening. I was 22 days in with zero notice. And it wasn't until I think on day 22 I had finally gotten through and sent an email. And I guess something happened because the following day, yeah, I can understand. What's up, Beatnik Classics? So, yeah, you see, this is the problem. All right, so I sent them the email, and the following day I got an email from FedEx that my delivery was set with a date and everything was good to go. Now, this is my problem. I like to concentrate on or include consoles. Everybody's with sim racing and PC gamers. Sim racing and PC, yes, I know. Some of the better sims are on PC. But on console, we have Gran Turismo 7, and GT Spec. Or no, GT Sport. On Xbox, we've got Forza and all the different Forzas. And we have ACC on both Xbox and PlayStation. We have Assetto Corsa on both Xbox and PlayStation. And it seems that consoles seem to really get shafted when it comes to some of the better equipment. The direct drives, all of that seems to be mainly aimed at consoles. And I can understand, I mean, at PC. And I can understand why. But a lot of these companies should kind of fold in or at least have something for consoles. I'm going to give Moza credit for their R3. I tried out their R3, and the R3 was really nice. It was very smooth. I think when that R3 is finally released, when it finally drops that people can order it, I think it's going to sell a lot. The problem I have with the R3 is that it's only Xbox, or should I say Xbox and PC. So that's going to be my biggest sticking point. So I'm a Sony fanboy from the PlayStation 1. back in the day when it was supposed to be an add-on to I think it was the Nintendo 64. So I'm a Sony diehard and a Gran Turismo diehard. And pretty much what we've got for Sony is the G29, which I still have mine and I love it, but it's noisy. I think there might be one or two Thrustmasters. I'm just not really familiar with Thrustmaster, so it is what it is. And then you've got the GTDD Pro from Fanatec. My problem with that is that that's like $700. That's a lot of money to drop on a direct drive to play on console. You've also got the Podium DD1 that was available. That I think was like $1,400. So that's like if you're super serious. But I mean, we get into this whole debate now of PC has, you know, Sims. Like, I mean, I guess you can call it as close to real. And then you've got Gran Turismo Forza where those are really simcades and they're still arcadey. They're still really easy to play with a controller. And I think that's the biggest thing there is that because of those games that are just so aimed primarily at controller players, I still prefer playing Gran Turismo 7 or Gran Turismo Sport or Forza with a controller on my console, sitting in front of the sofa, grabbing controller, and it works. The Sims on my PC, I've tried to use them with a controller, and I just can't do it. So I mean, I can kind of see why some companies haven't really added those peripherals for the consoles, but at the same time, I feel like it's a missed market. You don't need something super expensive. I mean, this is why you see a lot of my reviews are going to be testing with either the resolution or kind of like those unknown brands. So PXN, I love my PXN V12. I tested the DDL, which is the 6 Newton meter base, and the DDS, which is the 10 Newton meter base. I love them both equally. Using them on console was just about the same as using it on the PC. The force feedback was 1-to-1. I really, really, really enjoy it. And the fact that you know, when I got my V12 Lite from Amazon, the whole bundle was like 5 and change. I mean, we're looking at like $200 cheaper than the GTDD Pro from Fanatec. And the 10 Newton meter base, you can actually get it on Micro Center's website. I think they have it on sale for maybe about 350, maybe a little bit more, but then you have to buy a wheel. Well, that it doesn't come with a wheel and it doesn't come with pedals. So you're starting to piece together things, and PXN's A3 pedals that you can get from Micro Center suck. The PDHSs, which come with their V12 6 Newton meter bundle, are much better. But that's the whole thing. It's like you've got to kind of find ways around it, and it kind of sucks that other companies just, you know, I don't want to say they ignore it, but I guess it's just really not what they want to do. And I feel like as a console player, we kind of get shafted, and you know, we kind of have to get a little creative. And sometimes getting creative with items like the drive hub or the resolution, being a middleman, it leaves something to be desired because I've tested the R5. I have a Moza R5. I tested that with the resolution and just wasn't what I expected. I have the Camus C5. The Camus C5 is a really, really, really good wheel. Like that setup is really, really good for $250. But on the resolution, it's kind of it needs a little help. Let's see. Yes, the Asetek Tony Kanon bundle. Okay, so during the whole Fanatec debacle around Black Friday, Micro Center had that bundle, and I think they still have the bundle pretty cheap. I want to say it was about 700 bucks, maybe a little bit less. And in the Fanatec subreddit and the Fanatec forums, it was like, look, the drama with Fanatec, I just want to cancel and get something else. And, my first thing is, listen, if you're on PC only, the Asetek Tony Kanan bundle for its price cannot be beat. The fact that you can upgrade it to their top end components. So if I remember right, it's the Asetek is La Prima, which is their entry level, entry level. Then they go to Forte, which I think is the medium, and then I think Invicta is their top end, or I might have Invicta and Forte mixed up. Either way, they have a low, medium, and high range. That Tony Kanan bundle can be upgraded to their full, I think it's 15 plus Newton meter motor. You can go ahead and upgrade. I don't know if it's the board or the motor or what. You can go ahead and upgrade the direct drive unit with the lights that they have on top. You can get all these things as upgrades on that on that inexpensive Tony Kanan bundle. The wheel you can upgrade with their extra paddles and some other stuff that they offer on the higher end. So the fact that they have a lower cost bundle that you can upgrade, I Asetek did something good there. So if you're PC only, that would probably be my recommendation. Like, if you're PC only, look at Asetek. I think Asetek is doing something really well. I think their products are really good. I would love to get some Asetek equipment in. Right now, I'm still kind of working on the entry level stuff. So we're talking like 5 to 8 Newton meters. Once I'm done with all the 5 to 8 Newton meter, direct drives that I have in, I think the next series I'll start is that mid level. So we're looking at 10 Newton meters, 10 to 15 Newton meter range. So at that point, we're talking the Logitech G Pro, super expensive. SimMagic. What's the other one? Simicube. I think Simicube has one that isn't too expensive. The Asetek. Um, there's probably a few. Oh, the Thrustmaster T818. That's another good one that I'd look at. So that'll probably be the next series of bases that I'll test out. I don't know if I'll include Fanatec in that one just because of my previous statements and my previous stands with them and after that whole debacle, which I guess I'll get into some Fanatec news. So if you saw my other videos, we all know the drama that Fanatec is going through right now. At least I'll give them this. From the subreddit, from their forums, from what I see online, people are starting to get their 25% coupon emailed to them, which is great. So Fanatec, I guess they had an issue with, I think it was the 2.5x wheel, and I think a module or something. I can't remember because this was a few months ago. They had an order set up, and then they had a glitch in their system. They came out and actually blamed the consumer, saying that they were trying to get over on them and canceled those orders. And I think there were also some other people that, look, I think it was a 2.5 wheel. We oversold. If you cancel your order, we're going to send you a 25% coupon. For, I would say, about a good solid week or two, people like, I haven't got my coupon. I haven't got my coupon. To what I'm seeing, people are starting to get their coupons now, which is great. I think I saw someone who posted that they ended up ordering a Formula wheel and the CSDD, and they used a 25% coupon, which is great because I think that 25% off coupon also has a expiration date. So they're kind of slick. So that started going out. But then they've got this whole, issue where they were pre-selling the CSDD Plus, the PlayStation version of their new direct drive, and they haven't gotten Sony's blessing there. They send out an email to let everybody know that, hey, we're waiting on Sony to give us the okay, on the security chips that we're using. I mean, come on. It's just like this is something that you kind of should have already had in set. That should have been one of the first things you had set before you start pre-orders. Because to come out months after and then give people a longer wait whose money you already took, in my book, is a little grimy. Especially when you've already got, you know, the GTDD Pro. We've already got the GTDD Pro. I mean, okay, if Sony decided that they wanted to, you know, change chips or they wanted you to use a different chip, okay, but come on. You're going ahead and you're putting the pre-order uh, without even having this, so I feel that's a little dirty. So my previous statements of I'm kind of done with Fanatec after this order, I think I'm going to stick with that. One thing that I did do, I did say anything that I get from Fanatec will end up being secondhand. So what I did was when I did the video showing my wheels and rating the different wheels that I have, I did get a few messages to let me know that that QR1 light from Fanatec is just crap. Don't even bother with it. So yeah, I kind of do agree. I think okay, I know that Fanatec has had this issue with shipping and logistics for some time. And I don't think it was ever that bad. I know that for Europe, it was worse than it was for the States since we had our warehouse here in California. When I initially started my whole Fanatec process, I kind of reached out first to say, hey, I know Fanatec has this history. Everything I found about their history seems to pertain to European countries. So everything over the Atlantic, they seem to always have issues with shipping and logistics and blah, blah, blah. Do we have those same issues here? And the consensus was no, we don't, because we have a warehouse in California and we tend to get our products quick. With that, I'm like, okay, you know what? Then this is safe. Black Friday came around and I decided to kind of wait to the end just to see if maybe the GTDD Pro was going to go on sale. It didn't. But I went ahead and I ordered it, and I ended up going through that whole debacle with everybody else. And my biggest sticking point was the fact that they couldn't even email to let me know that there was a delay. And that's really my whole sticking point is they needed to let the consumer know. We all would have been fine giving them the time had they let us know ahead of time. A week or two after Black Friday, and they're like, oh, we got a lot of orders in. They should have sent out an email like, look, we got a lot of orders. We're going to need some time. So please bear with us. Had I gotten that email, I would be like, cool. I would have just forgotten about it and waited just to get my shipping email, and I would have been good to go. But they didn't do that. So it is what it is. So my previous stance with them, no, I wish my fat ass was hitting the gym. This is what happens when they mark a 3X shirt and it's actually, I think, 2X. So yeah, and I think the camera angle is just it. So my previous statements of I'm not buying from Fanatec firsthand anymore, I'm gonna stick with that. Um, what I'd rather do is buy secondhand and help those in the community. So anybody that wants to offload Fanatec gear because they want to upgrade to something else, if I need what you got, I'll buy it. This is where we go into the people told me the QR light, the plastic is junk. Don't worry, don't use it. So I heeded those warnings and I went ahead and picked up some QR1 metals. Now the cool part is that I picked these up secondhand from Facebook Marketplace for 10 bucks. So somebody upgraded to QR2s because they sent me the QR1s in the QR2 box. They upgraded and they were selling these at 10 bucks a piece. They look practically brand new. So for my McLaren GT3 wheel, I picked one up. But also for the GTDD Pros wheel, I picked one up also for this one. So now I've got the metal QR on both of my Fanatec wheels, and I pick them up secondhand, and I will continue. Anything that I buy from Fanatec will be secondhand. So if I decide I want to get the shifter, I'm gonna buy it secondhand. If I'm gonna get a handbrake, I'm gonna get that secondhand. Eventually, when I move into testing the more powerful direct drive bases, if I decide that I do want to do the Club Sport DD, or the, well, actually it'd be the Club Sport DD Plus, because I want console compatibility, it'll be secondhand. And that's, I'm going to stick with that. And pretty much that's it when it comes to Fanatec. Fanatec drama gets clicks. Can't even lie on that one. And there's a lot of people that are still dealing with it, and it's kind of, pertinent info. I'm already done. I've washed my hands with the whole thing, so, it is what it is. Next line item, I guess, is I'm going to attempt to live stream gameplay. So, I mean, from my videos, you can kind of gather I tend to really like hardware more than gameplay. I seem to, I kind of like getting the hardware, looking it over, reviewing it, testing it, trying to do different things, getting it to kind of do things that it really wasn't meant to do, kind of like, the R5 running it on the PlayStation and Xbox. Um, getting the camus, getting different, getting different pedals to work with the camus. Uh, Getting different pedals. I got my PXM pedals to work with my Moza R5 bass. So that was kind of cool. I had to pull the video because it wasn't consistent, but I did get it to work. So that was kind of cool. Just doing things like that, just because, I'm in a particularly decent situation that I can go ahead and do that and bring the info out to you guys. Because I know, you know, these are things that if it's going through my brain, I'm probably sure it's going through somebody else's brain. And I'm just like, I wonder. And I'm just going to go ahead and try it. So this is kind of the long way of me saying I don't really do a lot of gameplay. I think I'm going to try some streaming. I'm probably not going to do any iRacing. I'm probably going to stick to Forza 2023, Motorsport 2023, which everybody apparently is now hating because there's a ton of bugs and issues, which I don't play online, so I really haven't come across those. I tend to like to race the AI. Um, Assetto Corsa, the OG, of course, that will definitely be. I'll try out the low fuel motorsports for Assetto Corsa. Definitely some ACC. EAWRC, I haven't decided if I want to actually purchase that or not. I enjoyed playing the demo, but whether or not I'm actually going to spend the money on it, I haven't decided. I went ahead and got a handbrake just because I felt like I needed a handbrake to play that one, and then I really haven't touched it since. So I haven't decided on that one. But really, probably the big 3 or 4 will definitely see, live streaming on the channel if I can get that or all sorted out. And it'll probably be live here on YouTube and on Twitch on my Twitch channel, which is the same, the Joey BagZ. Uh, I think that's pretty much about it. For the 2 people that have been watching, thank you very much. This was really just a test to see how well this worked. I wanted to make it quick. I guess that really wasn't. We're 24 minutes in, and yeah, that wasn't quick. I go off on my verbal diarrhea tangent on Fanatec and other stuff. Um, but as usual, I want to thank all of you who sub. We're up to like 308 subs now. I truly thank all of you that take the time to watch. I'm honored that you take 30 minutes out of your day, because that's the average length of my videos. 30 minutes, or if you scrub through it, that's fine. But I'm honored that you take the time out of your day to watch the content that I'm producing. That makes me feel good, and I'm just gonna keep trying to do what I do. Let's see. Oh, I've got some. Ah, do you like your PXN 12? Not the light. Okay, so I guess we can do a Q&A. The PXM V12 DDS is the 10 Newton meter base. I really, really, really enjoyed that base. At that time, I had the 6 and the 10. Unfortunately, I couldn't keep both. I had to pick one or the other because of the rig that I have. No shade. I have a next level racing Challenger cockpit. You can actually see the video that I just did on it. I love my cockpit, but it is a center post design. It's not the sturdiest. Even with my G29, I would get creaks and wobbles and, sounds, and it just wasn't inspiring. So putting a 10 Newton meter base on there, when I really got into some of the force feedback, it shook the whole thing. That didn't leave a lot of confidence there. So I made the decision of sending back the 10 Newton meter and keeping the 6. Because the 10 Newton meter ended up dropping down to like 80%, so that would be like 8 Newton meters. So I really wasn't even using it at its full 10. But I really, really do like the PXN. If you can get past the fact that it is a no, it's an unknown brand. Kind of the way Moza was a few years ago, where nobody knew there was some Chinese company. PXN is a Chinese company that really doesn't have much history. If you kind of look into it, they did buy a lot of Mad Catz' IP. So if you look at some of their inexpensive wheel drives, you can see Mad Catz DNA in all of that. I sent you my phone number. A lot of questions. Thank you very much. I did see that. It's just between my regular day job and family, I'm doing this usually late at night, and this is why my videos tend to come out at 2 a.m. because I'll record it and I'll go in. I'll remember I do everything on my phone and my iPad. All of my videos are either I shoot it or screen record it from the PC, and then I transfer everything to either my phone or my iPad, and I do all my editing. I do everything there. So that's something I can do in bed just before I knock out, or set it to upload as I'm sleeping. So I don't tend to answer back as quickly like social media, just because I'm always doing some other stuff. YouTube, it's usually just a quick, if I can answer real quick, I do. I'm scared because of the fog. Yes, PXN software isn't great. It's not great at all. So far, of everything that I've used, I like Moses software the best. I haven't installed Fanalabs yet, just because I haven't set up the Fanatec equipment. And quite honestly, anytime anybody's asking me, oh, how do you rate this against this and that against that? And for what I've tested so far, the R5 versus the PXN, I put the PXN above the R5 because I feel the quality on the PXN wheel is a bit higher than Moses ES wheel. The KS wheel, which I have, is really good, but the wheel that you get from Moza on the R5, actually, I'll pull it out here. Oh, I hope I'm not shaking the screen like crazy. Here, I'm back. So the ES wheel from Moza, the round one, I don't really like. These are the shifters. I mean, the buttons, compared to the PXN, I really like the PXN better. Where the PXN kind of inches it above the Moza is because it is console compatible. And let's see, how does it work with console? Okay, so to my understanding is that PXN has something similar to a drive hub and a RAS solution built into their wheelbase. So on the back of it, where all the inputs are, there's a USB spot for gamepad. Now, when it comes to, let me put this down. When it comes to the Xbox, you plug in a legit Xbox controller, and it uses that Xbox controller to bypass the security of of Microsoft and the Xbox to then make the system think it's a G29, and that's how it works. With Assetto Corsa Competizione, there's a little issue where there's a workaround to get the pedals and everything working. That is not a issue with PXN only. It's an issue with other wheels as well. That's why there's a workaround for that. For games like Dirt 5, Codemaster seems to just have an issue with force feedback and some wheels. So you get no, you don't get the fine details. You just kind of get the big, you know, counter steering, and if you hit a wall or something, kind of force feedback. So there's that. Forza Horizon 5, you just have to play with the settings a little bit to get the wheel right, and everything else with that works. Forza Motorsport 2023, everything works. EA WRC, everything works. Force feedback works out the box. That was actually one of the best games I tried on Xbox using the PXN. Now, for PlayStation, they do something similar. If you're on PlayStation 4, you'll have to plug in a PlayStation 4 controller into the base. And once you do that, it then recognizes the base as a G29. For PlayStation 5, they include this little dongle right here. This little N5 dongle. Now, you plug that into the back of your PXN base, and at that point you plug in the regular USB from the base to the console, and it thinks it's a G29 also, and everything works well. The one issue that I do have is with Gran Turismo Sport and Gran Turismo 7. I get a random disconnect. It could be an hour into gameplay and then suddenly it disconnects. It's like I pulled out the controller. I've got to pull this little dongle out, plug it back in, and everything works again. It's kind of a pain in the butt. I reached out to PXN. They think I may have a faulty N5, so they sent me a new one. Just haven't had the time to test the new one, which I need to do, so that way I can kind of update everybody on that. Other than that, ACC works perfect. Force feedback is just as good on PC. Gran Turismo 7 works great. Force feedback, you've got to play with your settings a bit. Everything works fine. Gran Turismo Sport, the same as Gran Turismo 7. I think the force feedback in that game is a little bit stronger. Assetto Corsa, just like PC, haven't had an issue. And I think that's all the racing games that I play on PlayStation 5. I was going to buy the PXN from Micro Center. A's or the Ace Tech Premier, but I really want a console as well as scared of fan of tech. Okay, so yeah, you see, that's the problem. So if you get the PXN base from Micro Center, you've got to source out a wheel, which they do have, and I actually have their wheel, the V12CW. I actually used that wheel. You know what? Hold on. You're gonna see just my chair for a second. I'm gonna get a wheel. Dang it. There we go. Ooh. So you're seeing blank air right now. No, you're not. I'm back. So this wheel here. This is an Acelith Designs. Shout out to Acelith Designs. This is their Ace 1 V2 C30 wheel. I love this wheel. Now this wheel, I went ahead and attached. If you look at these buttons here, this button box is the one from the PXN V12CW that you can buy on Micro Center's website for 150 bucks. I took the Acelith wheel and unbolted the round 13-inch wheel from PXN and bolted this one right in with nothing else. All I had to do was just bolt it on and it works perfectly. So if you get the 10-newton-meter base from Micro Center, you're gonna have to source out the wheel, which you can get from them. The good part is that since it uses an NRG styled quick release, pretty much any wheel that you can source out that uses an NRG quick release and plugs into your PC, you're good to go. So you're not limited in that. Now, when it comes to, oh, let me see. Oh, my microphone is all messed up. When it comes to pedals, if you're on PC, once again, you can use pretty much any pedal you come across that you like and plug that into the PC, and you're good to go. The issue comes with console. If you want console compatibility, you've got to use PXN. You got to use a PXN wheel and PXN pedals because it's got to connect to the wheelbase to then connect to the console. So that's where you're stuck. So if you're gonna be primarily PC, Asetek is kind of the way to go. Really, I mean, you can do Moza. Moza's kind of having problems like Fanatec is with their shipping and their quality. I'm reading, a lot of issues online, so there's that. Really do your research well, especially when it comes to customer service and the companies that stand behind their product. Really, that should be what you take a look at. I mean, the whole cry once, buy once really, is one of those sayings that kind of works here. Not for me. I kind of like to buy once and cry 15 times, or buy 15 times and cry 15 times. If you're on PC, I really like the Asetek. If you're on console, you're really limited. And this is why I haven't sat and hooked up the Fanatec stuff yet. And not that I'm jaded over my past experience, that I can already let go. If they continue on the same way, there's no way that I could recommend it. I'm sorry. There's no way I could recommend it. After going what I went through, it's just like, for me personally, I'm not going to do that again. It could be that I hook it up and the Fanatec stuff is the most wonderful things that I've ever used, and then I have to eat my words and I have to recommend Fanatec as much as I don't want to. I have to go back and say I was wrong. And I have no problem admitting I was wrong. I hope I am wrong. But that price tag kind of hurts. That's what really hurts me. Dude, I heard tons of great stuff about the Logitech Pro. Yes, the Logitech Pro is also good equipment, but it's expensive. That wheelbase is like $1,000. The pedals are another $350. You're looking at $1,400, probably close to $1,500 after tax and shipping for the Logitech G Pro stuff. Now, yes, it's I think 10 to 12 Newton meters. And yes, to what I heard, I was actually incorrect in another video. If you manage to get, okay, so this is going to be a tangent. The way the console compatibility works is Microsoft requires a security chip in a wheel. Sony requires a security chip in the base. So with Fanatec's case, if you get a Fanatec base, if you get a Fanatec PlayStation compatible base and you add an Xbox compatible wheel, you can use on both consoles. By that logic, the same should work for Logitech. If you get the PlayStation compatible base and you can source a Xbox compatible wheel, then at that point you've got both of them covered. The problem is you can't get Xbox wheels just because they don't sell any of the products separately. You either get an Xbox setup or a PlayStation setup. There is no mixing and matching unless you find somebody that broke or they're selling it or for whatever. But you can get that to work. They did a firmware update and now you can swap the wheels around and get it to work. So, I mean, that's a bonus, but it's expensive. Let me see. T300 GT2 by Thrustmaster. It is. Oh, I've heard it is. I honestly don't have any experience with Thrustmaster. I went straight to Logitech. I went with what I've known has made peripherals for practically ever. And it was also closer to the price range that I was in at the moment. I got mine directly from Logitech refurbished for about $199 and with a year warranty. So that's kind of why I went with them. I found the PlayStation version for $599. Okay, so Beatnik, I don't know. Did you say you're on console or are you on PC? Because I'm looking back and I can't say if you were on console, if you were on PC. Ah, you're on PS4. Okay. Yeah, you're kind of stuck there. It's either going to be. Yeah. Okay, so if you're on console, you're kind of stuck with your options when it comes to direct drive. It's Fanatec or PXN, really. And finding a PXN right now, that's what I get swamped with the most questions. It's like, where do I find it? Where do I find it? Because they're not selling on Amazon anymore. Um, I found them on Alibaba. If you're willing to take the chance to order from Alibaba, you've got that. AliExpress, you can find them there, but they want like $200 in shipping. So that's a definite no go. That's a hard no. Do not buy it from AliExpress. Alibaba, they have, if you contact them directly, they have more reasonable shipping. The prices are closer to what I paid on Amazon, and I paid about 530 something on Amazon. So that's an option. Yeah, Beatnik, if you want to upgrade to PC, really that's probably going to be the way that that's really the best upgrade path. You've got more options when it comes to Sims. You've got more options when it comes to hardware. On console, unfortunately, you are limited. The good part is that on console, you've got two great games that have a long history: Gran Turismo and Forza. You know, to how I see it, and I play them. They have great history. Gran Turismo has never disappointed me. Their car, their monetization model that they started with Gran Turismo Sport and the nickel and diming you on cars, a buck here, the dollar there, I wasn't too happy with, and the fact that this kind of the same way on Gran Turismo 7, but that's a whole nother video. But for the gameplay, Gran Turismo's never let me down. And Forza, I wasn't the biggest of Xbox fans. I just always had one just because I'm a gamer. But 2020, Forza 2023, I've really been enjoying. I don't play online. I play against the AI, and I've been having a ton of fun against the AI. Um, my whole reason of not playing online is really just because I don't want to ruin somebody else's race. I don't want to inadvertently smack into them, and because I'm guaranteed to happen. I don't want to ruin somebody else's day, so I'd rather just play against the AI, and I have fun doing that myself. Let's see. I spoke with Moza. They told me that any wheelbase will work with Xbox, but you have to use the R3 wheel. That's interesting. I swear, they say any wheel. Okay, now did they specifically say that um any of the Moza specific base? Because I believe. Okay, so wow. Okay, that kind of I've got to get my hands on it. Moza, I know you're not watching this, but if somebody from Moza's watching this, yeah, we need to talk. So what I explained before with the where the security chips are for the different consoles, I guess if they have an ES wheel, because what they're shipping with the R3 is an ES wheel. If they have a specific ES wheel with that security chip in it, technically any of the Moza bases you should be able then to use with an Xbox. It won't work on console. Now, I don't know, that would actually be an interesting experiment to get that R3 ES wheel with the chip and then try it on like my PXN, or yeah, that would actually be an interesting experience. Actually, that would be cool. Or if you want to screenshot it and you know send it, send me that literature or the email that they send you, because that's actually rather interesting and something I would probably want to experiment with, because there are quite a few different wheelbases that do use that NRG style quick release. The Simicube, what is it, the SC2, and the Alpha Mini, and the Alpha from, I can't remember who it was that makes that one, but they use NRG style quick releases. So if Moses is saying that their wheel can be used on any wheelbase to work on console, that would be interesting. I don't see how. That's got to be only with their bases. just because that wheel is going to communicate with that base using their proprietary wireless technology. Like I can use my Moza wheel on my PXN, but I've got to connect it directly to the computer to get any kind of button inputs. So that would be interesting. But I'm pretty sure what they probably meant was that you can use the R3's wheel with any of either their R5, R9, R12, R16, and R21, and use any of those on Xbox using their ES wheel. Um, have you experimented with the cameras? It's only with their bases. Sorry. Okay, yeah, that's what I pretty much would figure. But I mean, that is kind of cool if they sell that special ES wheel separately. That would be kind of nice to have if you have an R9 or an R12 and you want to play with Xbox, and all you got to do is swap over the wheel, and it's going to be an ES wheel, which is the round one. If you can then just swap in this little beauty here, this little formula rim to it, I love the best $40 that you can spend if you have Moza. If you've got a Moza base, that's the best $40 you can spend. I love that thing. I have been testing with the Camus. I have a few videos already up with the Camus. Currently using the Camus on PC with my PXM pedals, just because I don't have Camus's pedals yet, and I don't know exactly what happened. I'm still, I'm going back and forth with Camus on that one. I have tried it on console. On Xbox, it worked, and I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I think I didn't have much of an issue with. Okay, so now I'm remembering what happened. To test the Camus with consoles, I've got to use. Where is it? Where are you? Where are you, little box? Here we go. So to test it on console, I've got to use this, the Brook Resolution. Now, it was toward the end of November of 2023, Microsoft decided that they wanted to block unlicensed third-party peripherals from working with the Xbox. Includes this here. So that was before I actually had the Camus. When that happened, pretty much that broke all compatibility with the resolution and the Xbox, so that kind of flew to the wayside. Around December, they released the firmware version 1.6, where they had a workaround and it was working again. That was around the time that I got the Camus. Now, the problem is that I didn't have Camus pedals. So, in that 1.6 update that Brook made, they enabled this here. This is Moza's Universal Hub. So this allows you to plug in the base, the wheelbase, a wheel, the dash, a handbrake, a shifter, a pedal set, plug in everything into here, and then you can plug this in to the second port of the Resolution, because the Resolution has 2 ports under here. So you can plug your wheelbase into here, and you can plug that hub into here, and you can mix and match. So you can use a different wheelbase, whatever they've allowed to work, which is quite a few direct drives, and another set of pedals. So I was able to hook up my Moza SRP Lite pedals. The problem is they have they have a bug in that firmware where when you connect anything Moza to that second port, it breaks the circle button, or what would be the /cancel button on console, both on PlayStation it's circle, on Xbox it's B. It breaks the functionality of that button. So to go back, you've got to, either hit home and then go back in, or you got to find some workarounds, and it was kind of a pain in the butt. I was able to use the SRP lights, but it was kind of a huge headache. So I kind of left it there because it wasn't easy. I did reach out to Brook, and I am still waiting to hear from Brook if they are even going to acknowledge the bug and if they're going to patch it. So Who knows? But that's about the most experimenting I've done with the Camus. I was able to remap the paddles as my gas and brake, and I did use it. It worked. So we have that, but that's kind of a pain in the butt without the pedals. I can tell you on PC, it's phenomenal. For $250, it's mind blowing how good it is. If you look at my Camus video, the biggest detriment to this C5 is the fact that it's Camus. And this is no shade to Camus, none whatsoever. But the fact that they are fall in that whole unknown Chinese company that nobody has, nobody will take a chance on is the biggest detriment to that C5 taking off. That C5 for 5 Newton meters, what it says in the pamphlet, it feels like it's 8 to 10. It feels like the PXN 10 Newton meter base when I had it. That's what that feels like. That is a great, great wheel. The way that they integrated the motor into the hub, that's innovative. You're not seeing any other company do anything like that. I mean, you've seen the package, that's sitting on my rig. It's so compact, you know. The biggest detriment to that C5 is the fact that they are tied to a company that's new and nobody's going to want to take a chance on it. That is sad. That actually, if anything, that's probably one of the most, hurtful things there are. Because this is a great wheel. Yes, the wheel may be ugly. Yes, that front plate, some people may not like it. It is what it is. The fact that you can't change the wheel, that kind of sucks. But I can overlook all of that because the wheel is that good. Using it in Forza, using it in ACC, using it in Assetto Corsa, using it in R Factor 2, using it in Race Room Evolution, using it in no, actually I haven't done Dirt 5 or I haven't done EAWRC yet. But using it in all those other sims, I think it's a great wheel. For 250 bucks, that is an upgrade path for anybody that wants to get into direct drive but doesn't want to spend the money. Let's say you have a Logitech setup like I still have and you just want to upgrade your wheel. That's a perfect upgrade. Let's say you're in the Thrustmaster and you have the TCLMs, I think, or the TLCMs. You have their load cell pedal, their entry-level load cell pedal. You get that wheel on PC, you're good for quite some time. It's great for budget all day. It is. Everything is made in China. Well, you know what? You're right. Everything is made in China, but unfortunately, the names that are attached to it, this is kind of like the whole Milwaukee slash Ryobi. It wasn't until recently that I found out that Milwaukee, which is my favorite, it's all made in the same in the same factory. It's just the plastics and stuff that it's like, okay, this motor set's gonna be Milwaukee, this motor set's gonna be Ryobi, and I'm like, damn, okay, so you know, there is no base in the wheel. Okay, let's see. I saw a video where Thrustmaster Team works great with the drive hub. I think I may have watched the same video that you did, and it probably does. I just don't have an 818 or a drive hub to test it. And the 818 is, I believe, 10 Newton meters. So that's kind of not in the area where I'm testing at the moment. And the price tag is probably about 500 or so. I think it's just about 500 bucks or so. So once again, that's kind of like, it's not really, you can say it's entry level, but when you're paying $500 just for a base, I'm looking at here, I'm looking at bundles for that same price, except for Fanatec, because, Fanatec has to be extra with it. They can't just give you, a bundle for 500. No, their bundle has to be like 700 bucks, but whatever. But I think I saw the same video you did, and, it is interesting. The problem with the 818, that's the thing. Thrustmaster, they have history too, but they have a lot of entry to maybe, yeah, I guess entry level. I really wouldn't even call it mid. I think one of their most expensive bases before the T818 was the TGT2, and that's, I think, that's a belt-driven setup, I think, and I think it's like 700 bucks. I would not pay that much money for that. I really love Fanatec's ecosystem. I hate they are having issues. I mean, it is what it is. They've been having issues for a while. It's just that it's kind of blown up now more. And after the Black Friday debacle, they're under the public eye like hard body now, and everybody. Because I mean, it was a big sale, and I'm sure everybody bought. But when you were dealing with the issues that they were dealing with, you're gonna have a very vocal public, and it's not going to bode well for them. So their pedigree, their name, they're putting names on racing series. Yeah, all that's great. But if you lose the confidence of your consumer, you're kind of stuck. And the fact that you've actually got more players now in the sim space. It wasn't like it was before, where it was like Fanatec was where you kind of got in. They had some expensive stuff, but it was at least easier. Don't think it was ever easy to get, but it was cheaper than some of the other stuff. Now you've got even cheaper stuff that's good. Moses come to eat their cake. They spend so much money on marketing. Yeah. Their wheels, hopefully. Let's see. Probably. Yeah, so Thrustmaster does have an issue with the wheels. Hopefully they do come out with some wheels. I mean, hopefully maybe swapping over the quick release, if you're able to at least add in a different quick release than what they're using, and then that allows you to use other wheels. So at that point you've got Acelith. Acelith has a ton of awesome wheels. GSI has a ton of, well, I mean, $1,000 wheels, but there's tons of wheels out there. So if you're able to adapt them to work with that, you've got those options, and you're not just stuck with whatever Thrustmaster is giving you. Domestic, and they're adding console to. Well, you know what? I can see Asetek doing that just because, them adding that upgrade ability to their line of products. So, like, I think the La Prima is their entry level. So it's La Prima. Somebody I think already, explained that one to me, and I think I'm getting like the last two backwards. But either way, you can upgrade their stuff. They allow you to upgrade their stuff. If they're able to do console compatibility with an upgrade, that would be awesome. And at that point, they are knocking on Fanatec's door. And if you can get that Tony Kanon bundle for $700 from Micro Center, you're looking at better equipment than the GTDD Pro. Definitely better equipment than the GTDD Pro. That's where I would be at. I think if console was not important to me, I think right now, if I were just sim racing, I would probably be in the Asetek camp. Because console is important to me, that's why PXN will be always my go-to. I'll have to test out the GTDD Pro from Fanatec and see how well it works. And I could be eating my words and be like, oh, PXN is so great, and then I do Fanatec, and I'm like, my mind is blown. Is that really gonna happen? I don't think so. But right now PXN is kind of like, that's where I'm at, just because they give me that console compatibility, and they give me that console compatibility inexpensive compared to some of the other companies. But the Asetek bundle, that's really, that's up there, and that's one that if anybody were to come to me, hey, what should I get? Asetek. If you're PC, get Asetek. The Asetek is proving itself to be great. I love to see from Asetek. Asetek is SimiCube. Yes. So that I also did see that Asetek. Okay, so since Asetek, they got their start in PC hardware. And if you look at a lot of the AIO water coolers for processors, a lot of the companies like Corsair and who's the other one? I can't. Who does NZXT or NXT? A lot of those companies went to Asetek to just license out the hardware that they're using for the AIOs. So Asetek reaching out to one of the better companies like SimiCube that makes SimiCube is mid to high end. I don't think they do anything entry level. They're mid to high end. So For them to reach out and license their, I think it's the SC2 innards that they're using in that Asetek bundle. This is why I say Asetek kind of knows what they're doing, and they've chosen the correct path. I saw a YouTube video where a guy bought the Tony Kanon bundle. I saw that same bundle, and the second I saw that, I went right to Microsoft's website to see if I didn't realize that that video was a few weeks old, because I was willing to drive the 13 hours to Georgia, to either Marietta. I think the two in Georgia are Marietta and the other one's in Duluth, I think. Either way, it's 13 hours for me in South Florida. I was gonna drive my ass 13 hours to go to Micro Center to go get that for 400 bucks. That wasn't even a thought. I'll tell my wife, look, I gotta go pick this up. We're taking a weekend and we're going to Georgia. Okay, so wow. All right, we're at an hour here. I meant this Marietta and Duluth. I live in Metro Atlanta. Okay. All right. This is kind of a funny story. Not really related to any of this. My wife had to travel to Georgia for business. Where she was staying was, I think, close to the Marietta store. After she was done with work, she went to Micro Center, put me on FaceTime, and walked the entire store nice and slow so that I can take a look at everything that they had. Just because I've always wanted to go to a Micro Center. I've watched all the PC YouTuber, videos from Jay's Two Cents, Austin Evans, Kyle and what's his name at Bitwit. I've watched all their, Micro Center videos. And just, I've always wanted to go. She was close and she went into the store and walked around with her phone on FaceTime so that I can see everything. So shout out to Mrs. BagZ. I love you. You're awesome for doing that. I'm super happy that they're opening up one in Miami. Actually, I think that store should be opening up at the end of March. So I am excited to get to that Micro Center to check it out. I'm in Jacksonville. We should do a meetup at Micro Center. Yeah, actually, that would be a kind of a cool idea, because I do want to play with all their cool sim stuff. Since now they are sim racing has blown up. I guess because of COVID, and then post-COVID with the Gran Turismo movie, YouTubers, like the tech YouTubers, Jay's Two Cents, didn't do. And I mean, I've been watching him for years, and it wasn't until recently that he started doing sim racing stuff. Linus, I know that at some point, they've done some little stuff, but they started doing videos, and they get like 10 million views. So of course, sim racing is gonna blow up when you've got your audience, watching that. That store is a drug. Yes, it is. Micro Center is, you see, and that's the funny thing. Certain hobbies, that we enjoy, they tend to overlap. So if you're into sim racing, there's a very high chance that you're also into gaming, which means you're console and PC gaming. And if you're a PC gamer, there's probably a high chance that you like building your rigs, which I do. And if you're into sim racing and you're into building PCs, you're kind of a DIY guy. So you're kind of probably like have a bunch of tools. So you're one of those tool people. And then that kind of bleeds into cars, and motorcycles. So like my hobbies, all of them kind of bleed into each other, and all those communities tend to coalesce. And it's like, oh, I'm into cars, I'm into computers, I'm into sim racing, I'm into DIY, I'm into motorcycles, I'm into guns, I'm into all the, guy stuff. Let's see, Madden, 2K, Golf, 30 freaking networking. So it's like, all these things kind of gel together. We all like the same things, We're all like-minded individuals. I built my sim rig. I got my PC case and power supply. Just need everything else. Black Friday was a good time to get some of that stuff. So funny story. I built my last gaming rig almost 10 years ago. It was good for 10 years, the equipment I put into it. But I kind of needed to do an update to it. I finally did, and it was just before Black Friday. I was able to get some good sales on a lot of the stuff. I went Ryzen, so I have a 5800 X3D. I've got a AMD. Actually, I pretty much have an all AMD system. I've got a 6950 XT graphics card. I've got 64 gigs of Corsair RAM. I've got a 2 terabyte M.2 SSD. I've got all my old little SSDs that have most of my stuff on there. The case is a super old. Oh my god, I can't even remember who made the case. Um, it'll come to me when I'm thinking about something else. So, yeah, I built my. Yeah, so you do need everything else to go along with it, but I'm gonna tell you, it's probably going to be one of the best upgrades that you do, and you will find yourself with a Steam library of 300 games that you don't play. Because that's kind of what I've got now. Between Humble Bundles and Steam sales, I've ended up with so many games that I don't play. But now the sim racing has really what's taken up all my time, except for iRacing. I don't like iRacing, and anybody that's gonna come and tell me how not, I just don't. I don't like their business model, and I've only bought $2 cars from them, and I have a hard time constantly paying that. I just don't. I don't like the way it handles. There's just so many things on iRacing that I don't enjoy. That it's kind of like I'll I'll pay the 3 months. I'll play maybe 3 times in those 3 months, and then I'll let it go. And then a few months after that, I'll just do the same thing again. Yeah, I agree. I hate subscriptions. Well, I mean, if you're on console, you've got PSN and you've got, Xbox Live. Game Pass is kind of awesome. That's the only reason I have Forza 2023. I wasn't going to buy it, but I got it free on Game Pass. All right, guys. I've already said this once again. Now this is gonna be it. I meant this to be a short stream. I meant this to be a short live. When are you gonna hook up your Fanatec? I really want to do that soon, just because now that I've got the quick releases for the wheels, um, I need to get it done. But just I'm still working with Camus on that C5 because I'm actually kind of really liking the C5. I kind of miss not using the PXN. The poor Moza R5 has just been sitting here not being used. It'll be soon because I just need to get it done quickly so I can, get some stuff. So, guys, good night. Thank you all for watching. I'm honored for you taking your time, your hour plus, to sit here and chit chat with me. The video will probably be live after, so you can watch it. Thank you very much, and I appreciate all of you guys. I really do, from the bottom of my heart. I do appreciate the time that you take. Please sub, like, hit the notification bell, and I will catch all of you on either the next live stream or the next video. Peace out. How do I...